What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stokastic here on the Odd Chopper channel, coming to you with a Michael Jordan flu game up. Ladies, leans, likes, and locks, hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video, goes a long way for you. That way you become apprised of every great content that's going live here at a little neck of the YouTube woods. Feel like garbage. I think producer Jacob feels like garbage. I don't know how that transports over to Vegas and things of that nature, but you know what? We're both a little bit under the weather here, but we're going to persevere. We're going to push through. Again, 7 games here on Tuesday. Pretty clear cut. We have one game that we're still waiting on a lot of information from, the Boston team on the back-to-back. Producer Jacob's Boston Celtics. Very interested to see what the starting lineup ends up being tonight. I think Sam Hauser probably is the leader in the clubhouse. It could be Luke Cornett, and I wouldn't be completely shocked by it. But yeah, we got some interesting things to kind of mine out. I guess Xavier Tillman would be live if they wanted to go Horford at the 4, but like that'd be a weird one for me. Anywho, I'm just waiting for that to come out here in the next hour before that. But until then, I'm going to break down 7 games of NBA action for you. Hey, congratulations, North Carolina Bet365, officially active in your state. That is 10 states now for Bet365. You can sign up for that down below if you're 21 and over, 18 over in Kentucky. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. But I'm going to be pretty quiet on words. I'm going to be pretty loud with my picks, though, because, again, we've been running very, very nicely here the last 2 months. Humming along, staying humble. Probably why, haven't had anybody lash out at me on Twitter. They're generally pretty happy with me. I think people want to just yell at me when I get stuff wrong. Guess I should get... No, I'm not going to get more stuff wrong. Producer Jacob, let's get to the picks. We begin our journey here with the Philadelphia 76ers taking on the New York Knicks. Massive injury news here for the 76ers fans. Tyrese Maxey will be suiting up. So that is pretty exciting to see. Obviously, the concussion symptoms, they lingered for a week plus, and nice to see him back in action coming up here on Tuesday. And now that's going to suppress a lot of what we've seen in terms of production from the other point guards, being Cam Payne, Kyle Lowry. But I still think Kyle Lowry probably starts alongside Maxey. They've shown a proclivity to get Buddy Hield off of the starting unit, which is kind of an interesting run out. Paul Reed's been playing better. I still don't know why they're starting Mo Bamba over him now at this point. I think they made their point, is what it is. It's a very strange phenomenon. But the Knicks on the other side, massive news for them too in the injury department. OG Anunoby expected to play, although he is listed as questionable, so we'll be a little bit trepidatious. But hey, once Tibbs gets his calls on you, man, you're going to be playing 30 minutes before you know it. And trust me, OG Anunoby, he didn't go there to not play 30-plus minutes every single game out. So Josh Hart, Brunson, DiVincenzo. Do they go at Chua with OG Anunoby at the 4? I mean, these are interesting runouts. Again, if Mo Bamba's out there, you don't really need to have Hartenstein out there as a defensive center in that first unit. It wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. So I'm going to be trying to pay very, very close attention to the prop market here because I think both sides have some intriguing spots. I will say, though, it's very surprising to see my current best play from this and something that, again, I just went through chronological order, start time of games here today. And this is the first bet on the card as a result. Tobias Harris over 16.5 points. Find it strange, though, without Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey on the floor this season. He's had only around a 24.5% usage, but the true shooting has been down in the doldrums without one of the two on the floor. You get Maxey back out there, and it actually helps Harris's production just from knocking shots down. Now, some people would argue, hey, defensively, that's because people aren't keying in on Tobias Harris, and he's not going to be a number 1. I think both of those things might ring true, but this just has more to do with the fact that, yeah, it's going to be a great game environment for, well, defense. It's got a 213.5 total. Not much offense expected, but without Buddy Hield out there in the starting unit, if that ends up being the case, I think 16.5 points, and that's kind of what I'm expecting, is going to be too low of a number. Got him closer to 18.5. Yay, we continue on our merry way. The Washington Wizards taking on the Memphis Grizzlies up next here, and I'm a little bit surprised by this one. A little bit surprised. We just got word that Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to be out. And this line is only +1. Can I just read off the rest of these Memphis Grizzlies, if you want to call the AAA Grizzlies? Luke Kennard, John Conchar, who's questionable, by the way. G.G. Jackson enters the starting unit. Looked pretty good. It's the only thing that looked good the other night. Jake LaRavia and Santi Aldama. Jordan Goodwin missed last game. Don't know if he'll be in. Lamar Stevens, questionable with the left adductor soreness, whatever the hell that is. And they have Dejan Jarreau, who's going to have to play 10, 15 minutes, potentially a lot more if Jordan Goodwin ends up being out. I get that Washington is one of the worst basketball teams, and yet Rashawn Holmes questionable being the only piece there. I like the combination of Denny Avdia and Kyle Kuzma. I think they're the two best players that are going to be on the floor by quite a bit. Jordan Poole's been much more comfortable off the bench. And then Tyus Jones, I think he's probably the third best player out of everybody there. I mean, Luke Kennard has been a prolific three-point shooter, but he's like the 8th, 9th best player on your team, not your starting point guard, and that is more than likely what he's going to be here. I think this is a clear-cut one. This was borderline lock, but it's just going to be Washington money line because, again, it's Washington. Minus 105. How? Trapper? That wasn't a question, my friends. This is an answer. OS Premium Tools, Discord Insider Access, everything you can know and love in the sports betting space available to you down below for $14.95 weekly, $49.95 monthly. We're talking amazing things such as the Positive EV tool, the Parlay Builder, the Fantasy Optimizer, everything I know and love every single day here. I have an opportunity to utilize, and you can too, have the exact same tools and content for $15 a week, $50 a month, and then, well, if you want to try it out here, have a little prove it session. How about 20% off using promo code Lindy, Lindy. There it is, 20% off expert picks, Discord Premium Tools, all in one package, my friends. Sign up down below. Promo code Lindy, $12 for your first week, $42 for your first month. Them's savings. Look at that. I can do math. On we go to the next game. I'm legitimately burning up here as we're talking Indy taking on OKC. Yeah, straight up flu game right now. Indy, Tyrese Halliburton. The shooting's been down since the All-Star break. Don't know what he did out in Indy. It's not like he had to travel anywhere. Maybe he felt the pressure of having to be the All-Star from Indy. And, well, he had a phenomenal first half of the season, got dinged up, and, well, this is just a weird one. Jalen Smith, three separate times this season, he's been downgraded after the game started with flu-like symptoms, and then you just looked at extra minutes for other guys. It's been a really weird, concerning kind of deal. I don't know why they can't just announce that kind of stuff. Again, has prop implications. But obviously, the OKC side is the rightful favorite here in this one. Gotta say, from a prop perspective, didn't love the opening lines on the Indy side. Thought maybe we could short something. Maybe thought we could find a little value, 14.5 rebounds plus assists maybe for Halliburton. Ended up not pulling the trigger because OKC is one of those teams that even with the game environment, 235.5, they brings you the defense. So got to throw it out there that I really like what we've seen here from OKC. Jalen Williams questionable here, so we'll see what ends up happening here with that injury status. Left early last time out. I would like him to be out there. I think that's kind of the main thing that's keeping me away from this game is like, that's a very important piece. Obviously, Lou Dort does a lot on the wings, but Jalen Williams, great two-way player. I know Chet Holmgren and SG are the engine, the locomotive that really has this thing moving, but can't really undersell how good Jalen Williams has been in his 2 years here at OKC. So I'm going to call it a lean at minus 6.5, although my sheet, for what it's worth, is yellow, telling it that it would be a like. I'm not going to pull the trigger here on a 7-gamer. I have a feeling we're going to run into a lot of props that we like here at opening numbers. If you want to know if I fire them up, hit me up on X at Eric Lindquist or in the premium Discord down below. Would be happy to let you know. We passed the 6.5 on the last game in order to lay the 3.5 here. Houston taking on San Antonio. San Antonio on a back-to-back. You know what that means. Be on high alert for some Greg Popovich ridiculousness, because that just tends to be what he does this time of year. Wembanyama off the injury report. They said, quote, unquote, not going to have a minutes limit today. I'd be shocked if he played 36. I could throw it out there, especially with a back-to-back pending. Otherwise, you're going to see him sit. So I do think this opening number has some risk involved, all on the San Antonio side. Now, Alperen Şengün, horrendous injury, but I want to at least throw it out there that this gives some extra run to a guy like Amin Thompson. I think Amin Thompson is going to surprise some people with what he does at filling up the box score. We saw it in his relief of Fred VanVleet, but what's so interesting about Amin Thompson is he can legitimately start in 4 positions. He could play point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward. He has the size. He has the ability. Defensively, he's pretty solid, and I love Şengün. There's no doubt that offensively he is so special. And Cam Whitmore going to be out for this one as well, for what it's worth. They do have Jeff Green back, Jock Landale. Very, very thin bench now. Jayshawn Tate and Aaron Holiday going to have to be enacted into some kind of duty. But I will say Amin Thompson, seeing 30 minutes is a projection that I have for him here. I think that kind of gives me a little bit of warm fuzzies here. I know that seems like a strange one, but I've been impressed by what I've seen from him when he's had extended run. Now, Victor Wembanyama, Devin Vassell, they both are playing here on Monday, Tuesday. I'm happy to lay the 3.5, knowing that injury news could move my direction. And it's not like Houston isn't going to be favored no matter how this breaks down. Obviously, moving Wembanyama or Vassell would have this line moving drastically in the other direction, whereas the best they could have moved to is like a point and a half. So much more upside laying the 3.5 here right from the get-go. Do it. Move on. Good day. Let's talk Bet365. Friends, 10 states where Bet365 is now available, including, right off the bat, North Carolina. Come on and raise up. Take your shirt off. Twist it around your head. Then sign up for Bet365 at the link below. We've got North Carolina, Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Iowa, Illinois, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maryland, Michigan. So many great spots. Virginia, and yeah, again, North Carolina. Got Ohio. This is just an absurd amount of goodness that you have for Bet365. I repeat, Arizona, Colorado, New Jersey, Louisiana, Ohio, Virginia, Iowa, Indiana, Kentucky, and now North Carolina. You go down to the link below. You bet 5, you get 150 in bonus bets. Seems like a good deal. That's really all I got for you. Can't say anymore. I'm tired. Again, it's a phenomenal deal. There's really nothing in it for me. You just need to sign up and take advantage of these offers, or sportsbooks can then tell you, hey, here's $150 to try out our product, and you can punish them. It would be beautiful. Bet 5, get 150 over Bet365. Only for 21 and over, 18 and over in Kentucky. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. On we go. Boston, back-to-back, taking on Utah, not back-to-back. Lauri Markkanen out. We're going to be waiting on Porzingis news. They're probably going to sit somebody else on this back-to-back. You saw Drew Holiday get some rest. I expect him to be back against Utah, although they did have it listed as knee tendinopathy. The fudge? Caught myself. See, I am respectful sometimes. Anyway, Keontae George, Colin Sexton, Bryce Sensabaugh, John Collins, Walker Kessler, more than likely your starting 5, with Clarkson, dun, and Samanic and Taylor Horton-Tucker playing some minutes. And yeah, Utah looks just disgusting without Lauri Markkanen out there. And it's strange seeing Kelly Olynyk in Toronto, but hey, we made some money on that lock the other night, so I'm not going to complain. In fact, let's just move on from this one. This is going to open up as a massive double-digit dog spread, unless the unforeseen, like, hey, right after the closing line of the Portland game, or right when it gets done, we're going to rest Tatum and Brown, and then you're still going to have Boston favored, but just stay away from this one. Wait for some news to show up. If we can take advantage of something, I will let you know, but more than likely, Boston by a lot. Shocker, the best team in the NBA. Shocker. Let's dip into the lean-like category. We saw some weird stuff here. Minnesota +7 taking on the Clippers, and Minnesota end up resting Rudy Gobert. Now, maybe not resting. He was dinged up. He had been playing lots and lots of minutes, back-to-back 40-minute nights there. They go to the Cleveland game where that had overtime and it was a whole thing, and now, you've got Kawhi Leonard and company here, questionable. We got Kawhi questionable. That news just dropping here as we were jumping in, but I kind of expected him to be questionable for it. Paul George, probable, expected to be playing, but no, he's actually downgraded to questionable as well. So we'll be sitting and waiting on that news. That makes it enticing, but pay attention to the Minnesota side. Monty Morris questionable, Kyle Anderson questionable, Rudy Gobert once again questionable, and of course, Anthony Edwards questionable. So one of the nice things about taking an over on a guy where it's just like, I know he's going to play his regular volume if he plays, and he's going to just be out and it'll get voided if he isn't. Probably don't take advantage of that enough on this show the night before, but just running the numbers for it without Karl Anthony Towns here, just expect 30+% usage from now until forever for Anthony Edwards. Mike Conley, not going to pull it up. Nah, that being Nickeil Alexander-Walker, not going to really be pulling up the usage. Kyle Anderson, if he plays, not going to be pulling tons of usage, although it's a lot higher with Kyle Anderson off the floor. Or sorry, that'd be ironic if he was playing and was off the floor at the same time. Karl Anthony Towns off the floor, friends, goes from 15.5% to around 20% here with Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns off the floor, a little bit lower of that before. So pay very, very close attention to that news. I will be as well. But 30+ points for Anthony Edwards, having an opportunity to maybe get inside of that number. Obviously, this might be juiced pretty heavily. It could be sitting at 30.5, 31.5. I'd be happy to be laying that here too, assuming -110, but I just want to throw out Ant 30+ for all you parlay people out in the world who do just phenomenal work. Just keep doing the Lord's work. Just don't parlay stuff that much. Not that you can't be profitable with it. We have the parlay builder for a reason, but you got to be smart. Don't be paying crazy vig. Let's get to the lock, shall we? And the last game of the night, Milwaukee, +1 taking on Sacramento here in this one, 235 total. You ended up getting Damian Lillard downgraded to questionable midday. The other day, he ends up playing basketball. Nothing to see. Nothing to see there. They end up playing decent ball, going up against the Paul George-less, Kawhi Leonard-less Los Angeles Clippers. So useful. Chris Middleton, questionable. Bodes really well for him playing basketball here, and this is really what it comes down to. Chris Middleton, putting him in for 24 minutes and removing it from guys like Pat Connaughton, Danilo Gallinari, Jay Crowder. These are big positives for Milwaukee because Chris Middleton's good at basketball. He has been going back to their title days. He will be going forward. I expect for him to come back. And again, they'll be very, very cautious with his minutes. But right from the get-go, this is just a positive winning basketball player that you're getting back into the mix. 90th percentile plus minus in terms of offense over on dunks and threes. Plus 1.1, 80th percentile defender over there. 4.7 expected win share, plus 3.3 EPM. That is 93rd percentile in the NBA. I repeat, Chris Middleton is very good. It would be awesome to see him suiting up and knowing that I'm getting the dog Milwaukee Bucks with the potential of a very positive plus winning basketball player coming back is enough for me to automatically click, move on with my life. I understand Sacramento. Remember the days when I was laughing that Sacramento against the spread had this 5-6 game margin, and I said it's going to catch up? Look at this. We have attacked Sacramento repeatedly for the last 2 months. Do you know my record betting against Sacramento over the last 2 months is? I will tell you, 7-3. That is winning. That is winning. It's just right around 3 and change units. So I'm pretty happy with the results of that. If you are as well, join me, my friends, for the unit lock. Milwaukee. I don't find this to be a Sacramento team. Again, I love what we're seeing from Malik Monk offensively. I just have so many questions about Sacramento being able to do it when it matters, and we'll see how he performs against Giannis and Brook Lopez. Not your everyday centers down underneath there. I think defensively, they've started to shore up some of the issues. Not that that's going to go all to Doc Rivers for sure. I'm not going to give him all that credit. I'll be excited to watch Dame and Fox go back and forth, but I got to tell you, I'm a little bit surprised to see Sacramento the favorite side here in this one, knowing the Middleton's coming back and knowing the Middleton will play, low 20-ish minutes right from the get-go. So Milwaukee money line, my favorite play as we enter Tuesday. Have a good one, friends. We did it, and that's another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. You know what to do. Go to that comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays that exist here on the board for this lovely Tuesday slate. We have 7 games. I'm excited to break it down in the premium Discord. Throw my betting card in there like I do every single Sunday through Friday. This Sunday, it's a little bit wonky. There wasn't really anything that I liked on the board, so, it depends. I'm not going to force bets for the sake of betting. Again, that's why the Leans, Likes, Locks has been devised, so I show you leans. Hey, these are things I'm thinking about betting, or it'd be the best available game, but I don't want you to bet everything. That's not going to be profitable long-term, but finding edges, finding the best possible plays, these are all important things, my friends. Anywho, thank you, producer Jacob. Let's get ourselves the heck up out of here. Nice tight 20 here. Nice tight 20 on a Monday evening, leading us into Tuesday. Don't forget to check out Bet365 if you're in North Carolina. Welcome to the sports betting game, only if you're 21 and over. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. But let us party. Until next time, friends, until Wednesday, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the NBA streets on Tuesday. I did it.